DNA actually is one of the great mysteries. It's a really interesting thing. So here's the story that our planet formed about 4.5 billion years ago, 4,500 million years ago. It was very hot when it first formed. And it took 500 million years or so for it to cool down. And by about 3.9 billion years ago, it was cool enough to support life. And here's the mystery. Just 100 million years later, by 3.8 billion years ago, the planet was covered with life. Almost as soon as it was ready to support life, it became covered with life. And that life was based on the DNA RNA system that is still in our bodies today. Now, Sir Francis Crick was one of the two discoverers of the double helix structure of DNA. As a matter of fact, a not widely known issue about Francis Crick was that he was a regular user of LSD.
Yeah, in fact, he envisioned the serpent twisting in on itself on a trip.
Exactly, exactly. That his great discovery, I'm not saying there wasn't other work done, because there was a great deal of work done, but when he really got it, when it came to him, that was in a visionary state under the influence of LSD. And that's interesting in itself. So this puts into context something else that Crick did, which is not very well known. If you fast forward to 1981, he published a book called Life Itself. And that book is absolutely intriguing because in that book, he makes the point that the DNA system, which he was so crucial in discovering, it looks like an artifact. He said that quite specifically, that he and another researcher, actually, Sir Fred Hoyle, a great astrophysicist, put forward this notion. They summarized it in a phrase. The idea, you see, is that the DNA molecule, the DNA RNA system, was supposed to have come together by random bumping together of molecules in the so-called primeval soup, and life just emerged from that. Well, for Sir Fred Hoyle and Francis Crick, you would be more likely to assemble a fully functioning and flying jumbo jet by passing a hurricane through a junkyard than you would be to assemble the DNA molecule in any kind of, randomly, in any kind of primeval soup. So Crick was a supporter of what's called directed panspermia. He believed that the DNA molecule had been sent here in genetically engineered bacteria by some civilization on the other side of the galaxy that had perhaps faced the sterilization of its own planet and that had sought to pass the seeds of life on elsewhere and to begin the process of evolution again. And then this raises a question: could there be a message written in our DNA? There are highly conserved sections of DNA which are billions of years old. We share a lot of DNA in common with fruit flies, for example. These highly conserved sections would be ideal repositories for information. As a matter of fact, DNA is being used today as an information storage vehicle, and its capacities for information storage are almost limitless. It may be that written within our DNA is a message for us when we reach a level of technology able to access it, or maybe that's what we access in deeply altered states of consciousness. Maybe that's why the visionary plants are universally regarded as teachers, because they are teaching us something from that hidden archive within us. Such ideas, in my view, are worth exploring. And I wrote a book back in 2005 called Supernatural: Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind, which actually goes into that particular mystery in some depth.